It's a beautiful day, but it's chilly. The fire is on, Mikey's inside enjoying life, and I owe you a recap video from December, but I've been doing a lot of talking lately. I've done my housework since the beginning updates, and I've also done an update on the land since the start as well. So I've spent a whole bunch of time lately working inside on videos, and I feel like I've done enough talking. So the recap is coming. It's gonna be short. I've got the board right here and I'm ready to go, but then I'm gonna get into some work in this video as well. So even though it's cold out here, the sun is shining, and I'm ready to get out here, enjoy the day, do some physical work, and get started on the pergola. But first, the recap. Okay, the sun is just poking through. It's turning into a lovely day. I'm anxious to get to work, but recap time. Let's make it fast. Connected piping at Sinead's. Sinead has a water pump and it's quite far from her water tank. She had all the piping, all the bits she needed, and together we assembled the whole thing and we tested it, and it all worked really well. And setting up water and having water pumped around your land and just having taps close to where you need the water is one of the best improvements that you can make to your land. So it was really nice to be able to help her with that, share some of the knowledge that I've gained over the years of messing around with my own water pipes and trying to figure all that stuff out. So yeah, it's really nice to be able to help her out with things that I have some experience with, and it all worked really well in the end, and it was very rewarding because, as I said, then she had water right next to her yurt and in other places around the land as well. Cleared the polytunnel. I seem to like to clutter up polytunnels. I have my workshop polytunnel that got super cluttered over the years, and I did the exact same thing with my greenhouse polytunnel, but I cleared it out and have plans to move in all of my chili plants and just make everything nice and tidy. So that was kind of looming over me, and it was nice to just finally get that done and to make a space that's actually usable instead of something that's just a cluttered storage hellscape. And while I was doing the polytunnel thing, I already had a water pipe running behind the polytunnel. I put in a T-junction and I dug underneath the ground and brought a pipe into the front of the polytunnel and added a tap, and that's just going to make watering everything really easy in the future. I'll add a little hose to it, and once I get the seed babies and everything in the greenhouse next year, it'll just be really, really easy to keep everything watered, and it's always nice to have water sources in different places around the land as well. Shipped and burned olive branches. So we picked olives back in November, and as we pick, you'll find that you're cutting a lot of branches off and you end up with just piles of olive branches everywhere. In the past, I've just burned these, or actually chopped them really small and used them as mulch and then burned the rest. But it's such a great resource. So we recently together bought a wood chipper. Actually, no, Sancho and Sinead bought a wood chipper. And we used that to chip a whole bunch of the olive branches, and then any of the residue, we had a much smaller burn pile, and we used the wood chips in the garden. So it was actually very rewarding, and those chips, I was hoping to use them on the garden path, but there's really too many leaves in them for that. So it makes amazing mulch, and I ended up putting it on the garden beds, which you'll see in a bit. Went mushroom hunting. I spent a lot of time on walks this year looking for mushrooms, and we had some friends visit who really knew their stuff, so we thought it would be fun to get them out looking for mushrooms with us, and it was really a good time. They also helped us with the chipping and burning and a few other things around the land, so it was nice to go out exploring and take a day off and just, yeah, go looking for mushrooms, and I felt like I learned a bunch from those guys, and we had a successful hunting trip. Probably the last one of the season. I feel like yeah, it sort of ends around December, January, so that's probably enough mushrooms for now, but I'll look forward to next year, and hopefully with each year my knowledge will grow and I'll be able to identify mushrooms on my own rather than counting on friends to do it for me. Went to the wood yard. So I wanted to make a windowsill for the inside part of my window hole, and I didn't really have proper wood for it. I was going to try to make something where I put two pieces of wood together, but it was just turning into kind of a nightmare. So I just went to the wood yard, which is actually one of my favorite places to go, and I bought a piece of wood suitable for a windowsill. It's always fun to look around there, and yeah, I had a good time exploring, and it was really nice to come out with a piece of wood, totally plain, totally prepared, so I could just then get to work on the sill, which maybe I should skip ahead. Made and fitted the windowsill. So with this piece of wood in hand, I ended up just chopping the sill down to size, making some little sort of bits that's going to hang around the window front, and just basically made it so I could slot it straight into place. It was really fun. I was really happy that I had this nice piece of wood to work with rather than something that I came up with because, yeah, I wanted the windowsill to be really nice, just one piece, and a nice feature of the whole interior, and I think I came up with something really good, and I'm happy with how it looks. Picked and pruned the chilies. So I left my chili plants in pots specifically so I could overwinter them, and before you overwinter them, you should cut them all down to size. So I basically picked all the straggler chilies off and turned that into a sauce, and then I cut everything down to size. And then I've moved them all into the greenhouse so that they're nice and cozy over winter, and hopefully when I take them out in the spring, they all come back to life and give me more chilies more quickly this next season. Tidied the garden and made beds. The garden has been overgrown and crazy for quite a while, basically since the season ended in the summer, and I finally got around to clearing it up, and that meant trimming the grass, it meant pruning some grapevines, and then the main thing I did was pull out all the weeds and cover the beds with mulch. And before I did that, I actually also added in some compost and stirred everything in so that now the beds are actually ready in the spring for whenever I want to plant new things. Had my car towed. This isn't like exactly, you know, exciting work, but it was something that took up some of my time. My car broke down in my driveway, and beside my house is very narrow, so I didn't think I could get a rescue vehicle down here to take me out. So luckily, I have friends up the hill who came down with the tractor. Thanks, guys. It was a lifesaver, and we pulled the car up the road, and then I got to ride on the tractor on the way back as well, so that was fun. And then I waited a while to get the tow, but while I did, I actually ended up working on a video in the car, so it wasn't time totally wasted just waiting around, which was good because it actually took a couple hours because I stupidly called at lunchtime. So everything's fine. The car is now at the mechanic. Hopefully it's not a major issue, but it was just, yeah, on my mind, a little bit worrying, like how am I going to get this car out of this driveway and up to the road? So friends to the rescue, and that was really, really a lifesaver. And then something else that took a lot of my time, and it's the reason I've been doing more talking than actually working, is I've been sitting on my computer inside making recap videos. So I made one, as I mentioned, footage from the start of when I worked on my house, all the inside work, and that's gone a little bit viral. So for anyone who's found me through that video, welcome to my channel. I hope you're liking what you're seeing. I've seen a few people going back to my old videos, and I'm enjoying getting comments on those. So welcome everybody, and yeah, I love hearing people to comment. So if you haven't said hello already, please do in the comments, and I'd love to, yeah, say hi. So those recap videos took a lot of time. I also did one for the land, and yeah, just going back through all that old footage was really interesting, really fun for me to see how far I've come, and it seems like a lot of you guys have liked those videos as well, so that's pretty cool. And then, well, actually, I'm not going to end the recap video here. I'm going to take you on a hike, but before I do that, I have a window update. So the window man, the disappearing window man, has reappeared. He apparently, you know, took time off on the holidays, which is totally fair. It would be nice maybe if he had responded to some of my messages early on, but he appeared last week once again, and he told me to expect the window January 10th. But then when I reconfirmed, okay, see you on January 10th, he said, it depends if the glass is ready. So Lord knows what's happening. I thought he already had the glass before he started the project. So that's the update. He exists, he lives, he's been in touch, but January 10th seems kind of like a wishy-washy date with this if the glass comes caveat. So who knows, but at least I know he's out there working on the window and hasn't completely fobbed me off. So yeah, the saga continues. I'll keep you updated, but I'm very hopeful for a mid-January window install. And then the January plans, it's all about the pergola. I really want to get this thing up. And not only that, I just want to do a project where I start it and finish it all in one go. I know a lot of you guys get frustrated because I start and stop things a lot of the time, but I did it with the feature wall where I just dedicated my time to it, started it, finished it. It was the only thing I worked on, and I really would like to do this for the pergola as well, partly because that top terrace is a disaster and it's got lots of stones, and I can't really do anything with the tool shed until I get all those rocks out of the way. And also because it's just nice to start and finish something, and I think it'll be a nice boost to 2025. It'll be a great start, and it'll hopefully see me going all the way to actually starting and finishing this tool shed as well. But also, it's fruit tree pruning time too, so I think I'll try to get some pruning done on my fruit trees, and maybe do a few olive trees as well if I'm feeling ambitious. So it'll hopefully be a nice combination of the pergola, a little bit of land work, but mostly the building. And the last point on my what I did in December recap is went on a hike. It's not all work and no play around here. Actually, December has been quite a social month for me. And some friends and I went on a hike to the Serra de Estrela, which is the largest mountain in Portugal, just over yonder. And we went on a hike to this really weird water feature. So let's finish the recap with that, and then we'll get into work on this pergola. So the hike was amazing. It's really beautiful up on the Serra de Estrelas, and I'd highly recommend getting up there. It was chilly, but it was beautiful, and the sun was out, so it got a bit warm at times. And the hike that we did is listed as expert in the app. Unbeknownst to me, I was not aware, and that's because we did the full circular route, and after you get to the water feature, things get a bit hairy. It's really difficult to know where you're going, and you spend a lot of time clambering up and down rocks. So if anyone wants to do it the easier way, which I'd highly recommend, just go out and back the same way you came. And I've got the location of the hike listed below. Just click a link for a map link. But now, it's time for a bit of destruction. I've got to remove a few rocks just behind me before I can really visualize what this is gonna look like. So let's do a bit of bashy bashy. So as usual, I don't have a full plan of what I want to do. I'm going to just get started and hopefully that'll help me visualize things. But first things first, I know for sure that this section of rock has to come out, and so I'll just give it a whack and hopefully it comes loose. Maybe not. Maybe this will be harder than I thought. All right, perhaps this is not the right tool for the job. This job could require a little bit more finesse, so I've got the rock bar and I'll see if I can wiggle these things out. I limed this all together, so it's proving to be a bit difficult. Perhaps I should have just dry stacked them because I really didn't know what I wanted to do. So this might have been a silly error, but I think with a bit of time, I'll get it out. Okay, so this is proving a lot more difficult than expected, and I imagine it's not that entertaining seeing me just whack at a rock and nothing happening. So the camera's going away and you'll see me again when hopefully this little miniature rock fortress that I seem to have made is gone and that I can talk about my plans for the pergola. Okay, rocks have been removed. They're just over here. I'll eventually move them up there, possibly to be used in tool shed foundation. I'm pretty sure I have an enormous one down here that I was never really able to get out, so maybe I'll just build the wall on top of this one, leave it where it is. But the idea is to, build kind of a little short wall using the long granite stones that I have. Maybe have a couple of, I don't know, short little towers, and then the wall will go down a bit. And then another one over here. And then have a pergola with beams going straight across. And I wasn't really sure how I wanted to attach them into the wall. I think what I'll end up doing is taking out stones and just putting them straight into the wall rather than trying to bolt something onto the outside of the stone. We'll see. I feel like that might be the easiest way. It's kind of a shame to undo the work that I've already done, but it shouldn't be too difficult. And then who knows? I think part of the reason I've been very slow to start on this project is because I don't have a fully formed plan. I don't really know what I'm doing, especially with the rock wall. It's all a bit intimidating. I kind of have an idea in my head, but I don't know if it'll work, and I'm just working things through as I go. I think that's a very frustrating way to work for many of you out there. It's a bit unconventional, but it seems to work for me. Most things have worked out as planned so far. So I've got a bit of wood over there. I'm gonna drag it over here, and then maybe that'll help me visualize things a little bit better. Nope, I still don't have a fully formed plan, but having that piece of wood there will help me measure things up, and hopefully things will come to me as I work. So that's all for pergola work. I just kind of wanted to explain sort of what my rough idea is and get a few things out of the way. And I did that, and then it'll be full steam ahead on pergola work starting in the next video, which I'm really looking forward to. So I'm gonna say goodbye from this video, but before I do, I've just got one more thing to show you. Actually, two more things. I did a little bit of weeding just to keep my mom happy. I've pulled a few weeds out. There's still loads more to do, but I'll try to do that as I work on this, get that into the compost in a bit. And then more excitingly than that, I finally repaired my bathroom door. So I won't have all these horrible little blue things flying everywhere. I'll need to pick those up. And I've got it kind of on a slightly more secure system where it sort of goes up and down like that. And it's screwed in over there to give it a better swivel. And I weighed it down a bit better, so hopefully it doesn't blow around too much. So that's all from me for this video. It's been kind of a funny one. The holidays are always a bit chaotic for me. Hi Larry, how's it going? I thought so. He's enjoying life. So yeah, the holidays are always a bit crazy. Things kind of get messed up, and yeah, I'm just busy with other things. So I'm ready to get back into it, and I hope you enjoyed this recap combo hiking pergola beginning video, and then it's going to be full steam ahead into the work starting in my next video. So as always, thank you for watching. If you have any questions at all, or you just want to say hello, please leave me a comment. I love hearing from people, and I'll see you in the next video.